Welcome to this week's GMBN, where I try and answer the questions that you guys send in via our social media with the hashtag ASKGMBN and in the comments sections below all our videos. So I'll kick this one off with one from Alok Rosmer, and he asked for some advice. He's got a cross-country hardtail and he likes doing aggressive trail riding on it. What would be the upgrades I would recommend? He says he's already put a dropper post and more aggressive tyres on it. So well done, Alok. Those would be the first two things I'll do. So you've already got those. After that, I would think about the handlebars. So maybe trying to put some wider bars and a shorter stem on there. Cross-country bikes tend to have long stems and narrow bars, which keeps that weight forward. Great for climbing, but not so good for going downhill. So yeah, check out your bars, maybe want to upgrade those. Next one comes from David Medema, and he recently got some wheels that someone was throwing away, and the discs are different size to the ones he's currently got on his bike. Is it possible to run these on the same fork? I would say yes, it probably is. You can buy different size adapters that your brake caliper mounts onto to match the different size disc brake rotor. Bigger rotors are better for more aggressive riding like downhill. They disperse the heat a little bit better, but obviously they're more heavy. A good video to check out would be our Jared Gray's Pro bike, where he runs big 200mm rotors on his trail bike. So have a look at that. Down to the front wheel there, you can see that massive Code brake caliper and the big 200mm downhill size disc brake rotors. They're Roval wheels with that carbon rim, and the tyres are handled by Specialized as well. This is the Hillbilly 650B, obviously, 2.5 width, really aggressive tread. Next one, Loris Aaron's got a question about tyres. He wants to buy some new tyres, but he keeps getting snake bites, even when he's running really high pressure in his tyres. And he's now discovered that there are folding tyres and there are tyres with wire beads. So yeah, two different types of tyres. The tyres with wire beads tend to be the cheaper, they're heavier. They're okay for sort of low-end mountain biking, but when it comes to sort of aggressive off-road riding, you'll find that everyone runs the more expensive folding bead tyres. Yes, they're more expensive, but they're a lot lighter, so they're probably the ones you want. And if you're finding you're always getting punctures, even with a really high pressure in your tyres, I would think about going up on the tyre, so getting a heavier weight tyre, so going from a cross-country tyre up to an enduro tyre or a downhill tyre if you're a heavier rider, should I say. Okay, next one from Dan Wallet, and he's seen a picture on Instagram and he's got him thinking about the different types of full suspension bikes. He lives in the Netherlands, which is flatter than flat, so I only ride cross-country hardtails. So what is the difference? Sort of like a disc brake thing, you know, the more travel you get on a full suspension bike, the more suited to aggressive riding that bike is. So the highest travel downhill bikes, they tend to have 200mm of travel, down to a cross-country marathon bike has got 100mm. So the more travel you've got, the heavier that bike tends to be. So you have bigger shocks, more overbuilt bikes, also slacker angles that make them more suited to riding faster. And then you've got everything in the middle, you know, coming down from sort of enduro bikes, long travel trail bikes, to sort of medium travel, 120, 140mm. So there are a lot of different types of bike, and a video you should check out of ours is what mountain bike to choose for what discipline. This is the Canyon Exceed, a cross-country race bike. This is where weight is really important. So this is a carbon fibre frame. These bikes are often 29ers because they've got that extra rollover. So once you're up to speed, they'll carry speed really well. Like I say, weight is really important. So it's all about being as light as possible because fitness and speed is really important. Next question is from Paul and Kathy Kearney. Hey guys, I have internal routing on my carbon cross-country bike, but I'm wondering which is better, internal routing or external for bleeding hydraulic brakes. Well, it's got to be said, external makes that job a little bit easier. Well, fitting the cables at least. You know, you just have to zip tie them to the outside of the bike. It's a little bit of a faff getting those cables through, and obviously you have to take one end off to feed the cable through, so you will have to bleed them. Once they're in, it is much neater, and it's got to be said, they're slightly less susceptible to getting damaged, so it kind of is worth the effort to try and get them through, and then you have to bleed them. But once they're in, it doesn't actually make any difference to the bleeding. Okay, Callum Fetters has got a question, it's a good one there. What would I choose between a new 150mm travel trail bike or an 8 to 12-year-old 200mm downhill bike for downhill racing? Well, I'd have to choose the modern bike for sure. I used to race those old downhill bikes, and if you look at them now, they seem really out of date, really old-fashioned, sort of really steep head angles, high bottom brackets, really short, and actually really heavy. Modern downhill bikes are much lighter. So I would definitely choose a modern trail bike. They've improved so much in the last 10, 12 years that I think I would be faster on a trail bike now than I would on one of those old bikes. And whilst you're here, why not check out that retro versus modern video we did recently where I rode a 1997 Proflex. So on the climb, the bike actually feels pretty good. It's definitely suited more to climbing than going down, I think. The handlebar position definitely makes a big difference. That massive great stem and narrow bars actually kind of make it feel a little bit like a road bike. The gears are actually surprisingly crisp as well. It's been a long time since I've used grip shift. I'm actually really impressed at how smooth and how quick the shifts are. Going up some pretty mellow terrain, suspension feels fine as well. I can actually quite enjoy riding this bike for big epic cross-country rides. Okay, so now we're into the quick fire round. So first one from Mark Cortez. I'm always having problems with aligning the handlebars and the front wheel perfectly. Any tips? I always use the back of my handlebars and the fork crown. So get right above the bars, look down the back of your bars and align that with your fork crown. That'd be my tip. Foreign sounds. I've just bought an Enduro helmet and it looks big on my head. Is it meant to look like that? It fits and everything, but I just think it seems big. Yeah, some helmets are different size on the outside, but yeah, probably is meant to look like that. As long as it fits and doesn't move around when you're wearing it. Kyle Wainwright, any tips for controlling speed on wheelies? I can wheelie for miles uphill, but always struggle on flat sections. This is a case of trying to master the back brake so that you don't keep speeding up. You almost go behind the tipping point, hit your brake to bring it back down and keep doing that, and that will sort of just modulate your speed. So try that one out, it's all about back brake. James Parker, why is downhill mountain biking not an Olympic sport? Well, there's been rumours for years and years about this. Cross country obviously is, but who knows? What you need with the Olympics is one sport to drop out for anything else to go back into it. So it's not an easy thing to try and get into the Olympics. Konrad Oskowski, sorry I pronounced that name wrong. Is it safe to hang your bike by the seat with a dropper seat post? Well, a lot of manufacturers don't recommend this, but in my experience, as long as you've got the seat extended to the top, it's never messed it up, so who knows. Hugo Charnaker, valve caps on or off? Off. You don't need them. And that's time up for the quickfire round. Okay, so time for Correct Me If I'm Wrong, where I check out your videos and give you some advice. You can send your videos into ask@gmbn.com for next week's, if you like. First one comes from Archie Gilmore, and he's 12 years old, and he's been watching our How to Whip video, and he sent in the video. And Archie, looks really cool. You're getting it really good, actually. A really sweet whip. Bringing it back nice as well, which is actually the hardest part of a whip, is bringing it back as straight as possible. I don't have that much advice. That's a really good whip. I would say to go bigger, you're gonna have to get a bigger jump though. You need a bit more time in the air to swing the bike around even more. So get your shovel out, dig a bigger jump, and also a hip jump can make it a little bit easier. So with a bit of a turn to the landing, but looks really good. Well done, Archie. Okay, so the next video for Correct Me If I'm Wrong is a bit of a jump special this week. Jacob Skirning sent in this cool video of him doing a pretty big jump actually in the woods. And he's asking for any advice on this jump. So let's have a look in slow-mo. Looks good. If anything, I would say about using your hips to pick up the back wheel. So check out our How to Bunny Hop video, because at the moment you're sort of picking the back wheel up with your feet a little bit, which is good, getting really big air, but then your weight's over the back wheel, so it's quite a heavy landing because of that, and you'll go higher if you start using your hips a little bit more. So check out the bunny hop video. Cool, and that's it. So whilst here, why not check out a couple more videos from us here at GMBN? If you click just up there, that'll take you through to our retro versus modern race off, where me and Scotty race each other. I'm on the old bike, Scotty's on the new bike, and a bit of a spoiler with it, but I get beaten by Scott, unfortunately. And if you click down there, that takes you through to a how-to, and it's an in-depth look at how to corner. So it's the ultimate guide to how to corner a mountain bike. Click just in the middle to subscribe to GMBN. It's totally free, and you get cool videos every day of the week. And give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave comments down below, and you might get featured in next week's Ask GMBN.